Spanish, right? So, creation, God makes, right? We're going to be talking about creation. Right? Who has its own theory about creation? You have to figure it out. You know how it all started.
Big Bang.
You saw the Big Bang Theory show, and you know, like, I know how it happened, right? It's boom.
We came from monkeys.
We came from monkeys. I know. That's easy to think because you see me, kind of hairy, like, yeah. We didn't come from monkeys.
I
Here's the
was
proof.
in my ecosystem class, and they said we came from fish.
I don't know. I'm not a good swimmer. I don't know about that.
No, when the girl's pregnant and you're in there, it's all water. So it's like half fish.
Right? Anyone else? Theories. How the whole thing started.
But I don't know how to swim.
God created us.
Mario,
God created
tell
Adam
me.
and Eve.
I know you have all the answers, dude. You're a musician. You're cool. You got it going. How did it all start?
God created Adam and
Hey,
Eve.
I'm saying Mario. Come on.
What do you mean how it started?
Yeah, the whole, how come we're here, how the world was created, or the universe. Like your own opinion. I don't want to hear what they tell you to say. No. What do you think?
My opinion?
Yeah, your honest opinion. I don't care if it's weird.
What else?
God was like, hey, Lord, let's make a planet.
All right. God was born. Let's make a planet. Anyone else? No. All right. All right. So we all have opinions. We have seen some movies. There's some TV shows out there, documentaries. What does the Bible say about creation? All right. Let's dig in there. The Bible gives us theological panorama of creation, not scientific. All right? Galileo Galilei, who knows that guy, very wise guy from Rome, he said it this way. The Holy Ghost intended to teach us how to go to heaven. You know, how the heavens go. Make sense? The Bible teaches some stuff, but it doesn't dig that much on, data. And God took so much of this element, so much of that, put them together, got the machine going on, and boom, you got a plan. It doesn't go that far. It's more about how to get to heaven, that theological aspect of it. Now, this is a very, very, very long theme, and I split it in half, so I'm not gonna push you too hard today. We're just gonna see part of it today, part of it next Sunday. So at the end of today, you're like, that's it? No, it's not it. All right? Next Sunday, we'll go a little bit deeper. What does the Bible says about creation? Okay, how many have read at least Genesis 1? Like, you said one time, I'm going to read the Bible. And you started in Genesis 1, that's how far you went. Like, that's it. I'm not reading anymore. If you read Genesis 1, that's fine. Because it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the water. Now, two key words here, and they're from the original language. Remember last week we talked about the Bible, how it came to be? All right. In the beginning, the word beginning in Hebrew is the word Reshit. And we'll talk about that later on. And then the word created, that specific verse of the Bible uses the word bara as for creation. There's another word for creation that means asa. We're not going to talk about asara here. It talks about bara. We're going to dig about what does that mean. We'll dig about that later on. All right. Right now, we're not going to start saying, okay, what did Darwin say about creation and evolution? What whoever talks about that. We're going to talk about within Christianity, there are different points of view in regards to creation. So we're going to start with that. Okay, what does Christian people say about creation according to the Bible? There are different views. View number one, historic creation. It says, since because the word used for beginning in Genesis 1 is Bereshit, it means indefinite period of time. So, it's fair to think that all creation was completed over an extended period of time. We're gonna learn that some people think the 6 or 7 days in the Bible are literal 6 24-hour days. Some folks don't think that, because that little word, Bereshit, which means indefinite period of time. Somewhere in the beginning, God started. So, this people, the ones who share this first view, think that the whole Genesis 1 creation, 7 days, can be anywhere from a few days to billions of years. Yeah, that's smart, dude. But what's the right answer? I don't know, from 1 to eternal. That's awesome. Very smart. Now, some people believe within this same category, believes that there are 6 literal days of the whole world being created, but then there's a big gap between the world being created and then humanity coming to existence. So they say that, oh yeah, the earth itself is very old, but we, not that. But there's a gap in between. And they believe that God created everything from nothing. That's a Hebrew word, ex nihilo. Alright? Vision number 2. Young earth creations. These guys believe that everything we know, the earth, people, mankind, were created literally in 6 days. As the Bible says. In the beginning, the first day, boom, like in a day. God created all. So, that means the earth is young, we are young. So they're both young. They were created literally in 6 days. And one day was to rest. Now, about that one. Alright, let's move on. View number 3, gap theory. It kind of uses another theory to fulfill this one. In this view, Genesis 1:1 explains a first creation that happens perhaps billions of years ago. Then something cataclysmic happened, and everything went bad, and something like, you know how Satan was supposed to fall from heaven to earth? Jonathan once came with this theory. You remember we were talking about creation, and you were talking about dinosaurs and how dinosaurs became extinct. Remember it? We were talking about that? Alright, scientific folks believe one time, billions of years ago, this meteor crashed in Yucatan, Mexico. Yes. And it's a theory. They don't know exactly that's what they think. So they think meteor crashed in Yucatan, and that's what made the whole earth clash, and dinosaurs died on that. Everything that was alive died because that explosion was equal to I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of nuclear bombs, so everything died. Jonathan once brought up that that meteor was not a meteor, but it was Satan falling down, which will be so cool. They like the angel coming and bam, that would be, I don't know, in my imagination that would be so cool. So people feel like that. Creation happened, and something in between brought a cataclysmic event such as something, Satan falling, or just the flood. You remember the flood? So that messed up the whole earth. So the earth looks old because of what happened to it. Alright? Now, this is the thing. They claim that God responded to this disaster by recreating the earth again a few thousand years ago in 6 little days. So he came up with one creation, something bad happened, and he just basically redecorated the earth in 6 days. That's what these people believe. Alright? But if you read the Bible, kind of doesn't make sense because all the stuff in the Bible. Like God says when He created heavens and earth, He created everything good. Everything was good. And He doesn't mention any cataclysm that making it worse. It just, at the creation itself, everything was good. View number 4. Literary framework view. They say the earth is old, humanity is young, and they base on Genesis 1:1, and they say that Genesis 1:1 is just poetic. That you cannot take seriously that it was done in 6 days. It's just poetry. It's a nice way to put it, and that's what the beginning and then the end of the first day. You see, that's just poetry. But then we have something in Exodus 20:11 that contradicts this view. View number 5, day, age, view. In this view, God created the universe, including Adam and Eve, in 6 sequential periods of time that are not little 24 hours a day. So once again, these guys here think first, let's say, what we call as first day, it was not really a day, but they just go like, okay, something started, and whenever that ended, it might took years, hundreds of years, or thousands of years, but it was a project. The first project ended, they call it first day. Second day was a different project, they call that a second day. But they still think it's not literal. It's just, that's how they reference to it, right? And again, Exodus 20:11 comes in and knocks them out. View 6, theistic evolution. In this view, these guys think God essentially began creation and then just pulled back. Like I was saying, He was bored. Let's do something with my time. Alright, let's create a planet. Why not? Looks fun. Like when you have something to do at school, they give you this, you have to build up the universe with, whatever. You create something and then it remains in your room forever, or it remains in the school closet or whatever, right? They think that. God created and then, alright, have fun guys. And He pulled back. That's what they think. And then, everything that happened after that doesn't have to do with God. It's just evolution magic. So those are the 6 views within Christianity. Right? I know there's many more. But those just are within Christianity. Which one of those 6 you think, I like number 2? I like number 3. What do you guys think? Just from those 6. You think it's literal, 6 days? You think, nah, not really. I think it's just project. First project, second project. Now, let's forget about who's wrong, who's right. Just creation itself. We cannot deny the world exists because we are here. So what does the whole creation reveals about God? We got 12 points. The first one says, God is eternal, and He precedes creation. If we start reading, it says that God was. From where? Since when? Always been there. And then He created us. So He's eternal and precedes creation. God is a living God, and life flows from Him. If you read Genesis 1, He says, and He spoke something, and that something came to existence, right? Point 3, God is independent, and creation depends on Him. Point 4, God is above creation. Sometimes we make the mistake that we as humans are above everything else. And it's not like that. But we're not under or in the same level as everything. There is God. And He put us to rule over the rest of creation. So there are differences. Point 5, God is active and present in His creation. Sometimes you just know that something happened and it had to be God. He's involved. He's not like far away like those guys in point 6. Point 6, God is a person and He gives personality to creation. Many of you remember that we were created in God's image. Once again, that doesn't mean that God looks exactly like me, or God is a collage of all of us and He looks like everybody. No. He's talking about personality, essence. God is powerful, all-powerful, and He created everything from nothing. At one time I heard this challenge that some Christians gave to this group of scientists. That, hey guys, they were bragging that oh yeah, we figured out, I know how creation came to be. And they were talking about all of these elements and this and that. I said, okay, can you reproduce the Big Bang? Can you reproduce creation and say, yeah, we can do that. Awesome. Do it. But you cannot use anything in this world. You're like, what? Yeah. We produce Big Bang, we produce creation, but you cannot use anything in this world. I usually say that. Well, that's what God did. He created everything out of nowhere. God's creation reflects God's order. Have you seen that in school or whatever? That everything works so perfectly with each other in such harmony that if something is altered, it messes up everything else. Now just take your body. Scientists say that our body is the perfect machine. Have you heard that? Our body is the perfect machine. I know we have flaws, but there's nothing as perfect as we. And everything works like clockwork. Perfect. How we breathe, how we stay alive, how we can think something and do something. Like, if you like engineering, everything you see in engineering has a principle. And all those principles rule, in our body. So all this order that we see flows from God. God is a prophet who declares. If you read Genesis 1 again, and God says, let there be light. And what happened? And God said, let the water separate from the earth. And what happened? So He spoke, something happened. It's a prophet in that way. God is good and everything He does is good. And God is gracious and He pours grace over His creation. So, back to the point of the 7 days of Genesis, literal 24 hours. According to Genesis 1 and 2, this is how it was set up. And this is the project. On Sunday, sometimes we believe Monday was the first day. Not really. We do a calendar. It starts from Sunday to Saturday. Alright. Sunday, that Genesis 1 through 5, the lights and shadows were separated. So that was first day. That was the first project. Monday, second day, Genesis 1, 6 through 8. The waters and the skies were separated. So it gave volume to the earth, right? Tuesday, from verse 9 to 13, the earth and the waters were split apart. Now we have dry land and we have oceans and rivers and everything else. Wednesday, from 14 to 19, God created the sun, the moon, and the stars. And He gave them order. You, sun, are supposed to show up from here to here, moon from here to here. Thursday, verse 20, 23, created fishes and birds. Fish. Friday, the last part of the project. Animals and us came to be. That's why some of you look like animals. Just kidding. Actually, I'm just kidding. Alright, and Saturday, last day, you rested. Alright? Some claim, once again, the whole day thing is just poetry and cannot be taken literal. But here's something cool. How many of you knew that there are two kinds of truths? We've got plain literalness. What you say is what you mean. But how many of you know that there's figurative truth? That you say something, it's true, but it's not literal. Like, how many of you have been so hungry that you say, oh man, I could eat a cow? Could you really eat a cow? No, but you are that hungry. So the expression itself is not literal, but it's still true. Right? And there are many examples of that. Like songs, poetry, love. You're saying something to a girl that, oh, that's so nice. And I could cross oceans just to reach you. No, you couldn't. You would drown, man. 2 miles after swimming, like, oh, I'm sorry. The love of your boat. You know, right? You cannot do it. Yeah, I will cross the whole nation just to reach you. I will go from Texas to Seattle running just to be with you. That's a lie. Come on, like, but it's true. Like, it reveals your intention, right? It's not literal. It's just a way to tell you, this is how much I want to be with you, or this is how much I love you. So there are two kinds of truth. So people think, yeah, Genesis 1 is just poetry. It is true. We're not diminishing that. We're just saying that it's poetry. Alright. Here's the thing. There is another word in the Bible that is used for day. It's called yom. How many have you have Jewish friends, or you kind of like Jewish culture? Or just by being here, because everyone in Hollywood is Jewish, so you might have heard of it. Yom Kippur. Have you ever heard of that in the movies? Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement. Yom is day, Kippur is atonement. So the word Yom is, as the other word we were looking at, it's day, but it's kind of like an indefinite period of time. Like when you say, oh, the other day, you're not pointing to a specific day. You say, that time, that is Yom. So that is used as well sometimes in the Bible. So that's why they seem like, no, I think it's just poetry because of this kind of wording. But then, we have another section in the Bible where it declares this. An evening passed, and a morning came, making the first day. So there's no more indefinite. There's no more like, vague wording. It's very literal. An evening passed, and a morning came. So we're So that makes you think, I don't think it's poetry. I think it means what it means. Because of this. Exodus 20:11 says, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and everything in them, but on the 7th day he rested. That is why the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart as holy. So they came up with all these rules of the law, and first day and second day, and we should actually rest one day. They don't work 6 years in a row and then have a whole year of holiday, because that's how creation was. No, we work 6 days and rest one day because that's how God did it. So he set up the way to do it. So, how old is the earth? Have you read about it? Some people say it's billions of years. Some people say, no, we made this test, and there's this carbon test. Have you heard of that? that when they found a fossil, how come they figured out how old is that fossil? They made a test out of it using carbon. Gil, do you know that? Carbon 14, carbon something? I don't know, there's a name for that test. And they tested upon of the elements and how old they are now. So, there are two basic positions on this. Some folk believe that the earth is so old, somewhere in between 4 billions of years old. That's their estimate. Now, some other people believe the earth is young, and somewhere between 6,000 to 10,000 of years. So it's like, dude, which one is it? It's like too much difference in between them, right? So which one is it? Alright, for those who believe that the earth is young, there's this guy, James Ussher, not related to the singer. He was an archbishop from Ireland in the 1600s. And he came up with this formula. Like, have you read those boring parts in the Bible where they just list, and such was son of his guy, and this guy was son of this other guy, and he was son of this other guy. And it's like 5 minutes of people coming from other people, and come on, all these names that are not even cool names, they're like ugly names, right? So this guy, James Ussher, he started adding up. Because you can read, and Moses gave birth to such and such, and he lived so many years. And then this guy lived for so long and gave birth to this guy, and he lived so much. So he started like doing the math all the way to, because okay, it's easy. From Jesus to our point is like 2012 years, right? Like we are in 2012, or we are in 2013, or whatever. Like we have a reference point, right? The whole history is divided before and after Jesus, so it's easy to point it out from year 0 to today. That's easy. But what happened after him? So this guy figured it out. He's like, oh, easy. I'll just go from Jesus backwards and start adding up all the way to Adam. So according to him, he's like somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000. I'll give him a break. I mean, it's hard to come up with that, right? But he kind of rounded up somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000, according to genealogy all the way to Adam. That's how old we are. So that's how old the earth is.
What about before Adam?
But that guy, that's how far he went. Because after Adam, when was Adam created? According to the Bible.
It was before Jesus, right?
Oh, yeah. But, once again, you remember Genesis 1? Oh, it's a great Christian, that's fine. Like, first day, God did this. What did God create on day 6? Men and animals. So on day 6, God created Adam. So the earth, let's say Adam is 6,000 ago, so the earth should be 6,006 days old. Right? Should be.
Good question, but like it said on, I think, year number 5 that each day was like 100 years or 1,000 years. So before Adam, it was even more.
Exactly. Now, once again, this is just this guy's point of view. I'm not saying this isn't what it is, right? I'm saying, like, according to him, this guy, like, maybe he was eating pizza one day and he was like, oh, I could, come up with this. And he thought of this. Maybe he ate too much pizza and that's why it's wrong. I don't know. But that's just his idea. So, according to him, it's once again 6,000 to 10,000. But those guys who claim the earth, and then there are some things that look really, really, really old. Like, my grandpa looks old, and he's 90-something, and this looks way older than my grandpa. grandpa, so I'm sure it's more than a few thousands of years. So what happened? Why does the earth look so old? These guys think is like a guy. Have you ever seen a guy that is like 30 something but looks like 50 something?
Manny Pacquiao, you look at Manny Pacquiao, you look old.
Right? And he's like my age or something like that. And I, of course, looks better than him. So how come some people look older than what they really are? Because they didn't took care of themselves, right? Some people drank too much, party too hard, so they look just like, what happened to you? You're already bald, fat, and ugly. What happened, dude? You're like 25, man. You look like my dad. So they say this happened to the earth. It's not that he's that old, but he had some rough times and it's pretty old. Some earthquake, mala vida, yeah. The earth partied too hard, man. So that's why it looks old. So that's what they say. And also they claim this. Alright, good question to all of you. When Adam was created, how old was he?
40.
40 and 1, 40 and 2, how much?
50.
50. How old was he, Johnny?
45.
45.
Oh.
42.
40.
Yeah.
He was 15.
He was 15. Alright? We don't know, right? We don't know, but I'm sure he was not a baby.
No, he was older than 21.
Alright. He was older than 21 because then
Because he met a girl.
he met a girl and they went straight to it, right?
Last time,
We got get married, come on, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they didn't get married.
Yes, they did. Alright, so, back to the phone, guys. Focus, back here. So, for sure, Adam was not created as a little baby. He was created as a grown man. So, this guy's thing, God created the earth as a grown earth, so to speak. So, he didn't create the earth as a baby earth and then it started growing. No. He just created the earth as it is, like mature and everything. Alright, so that's what they believe. Those who believe that the earth is pretty young. Now, there's, for those who also think like, you say it's 6,000 to 10,000 years, but the earth kind of looks older than that. This other guy, Benjamin Warfield, he thinks that it's just because the genealogies are just not complete. Some genealogies were just lost in between, and so we don't have an exact time from Adam all the way to Jesus. And once again, when we read Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, the word beginning is Rashid. Everyone say Rashid.
Rashid.
Now make it sound like Middle Eastern. Rashid. Rashid. Alright, this word means an indefinite period of time. So once again, like we don't really know. But this is the thing, guys. This is the thing. Remember how we started with this quote from Galileo? We said like the Bible is really about how to get to heaven, how heavens go. The Bible focuses on God. Like, really, the whole point of the Bible is not you and me. It's not how old the earth is. It's about God. It's telling us about God. How He did this. How He did that. That, yeah, He talks about creation, but that's not the point. The point is Him. So that's why we don't know these things accurately, facts, because He doesn't really, doesn't matter how old is the earth. Like, is it going to make you richer, or happier, or hotter, or whatever, just because we know? It doesn't. It's irrelevant. Beyond the earth's age, both science and faith come together in one thing. They are not sure how old the earth is, but they do agree with how old humanity is. And both science and faith agree that it's somewhere between 6 and 10,000 years. And even archaeological discoveries, kind of like as far as we can go, is roughly about that time. So once again, we might not be on the same page regarding the age of the earth, but we are on the same page regards how old we are as a creation. So that's interesting. And this is the end of this part. We'll dig a little bit more on it on next week, but we're going to finish up today with this. Where did creation came from? I think that's more important than how old it is. Once again, remember we were using this ex nihilo word? What it means is a Latin term that it means from nothing. From nothing. Now, I told you there were two words for creation, right? Bara, once again, is out of nothing. Asa means assemble something. Create something that already exists. Like, for example, how many of you like to play with Legos when you were little? Alright, potato head.
Oh, I like that one.
You could do a bunch of things with that Mr. Potato Head, right?
Yeah.
And you could make him angry or happy or whatever. But you didn't create Mr. Potato Head.
I created.
You didn't create it. You made it from something that was already there, right? When your mom tells you, hey, go make your bed. Do you have to get wood and nails and you're going to make the bed? No. You already have a bed. You're just going to make it look good, right? And you don't want your room to look like there was a war in there. So there are two words for creation in Genesis. Bara, which means like there was nothing. Like, okay, do I have the ingredients here to make a pizza?
Yeah.
Watch it, I'm going to make a pizza. Boom! Out of nothing, pizza for everyone. That would be cool, right? I don't have the power. Chicken wings, there you go. And some, whatever. I don't have that. But if you tell me, all right, from whatever we have here, can we do, I don't know, something? Right. Maybe with those chairs we can create a tower of chairs. We'll just pile them up, right? Like, it's different. But God created everything from nothing. Hebrews 11:13 says this. By faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen. Now there's something really cool. How many of you like science? All right. Let me put it some other way. How many of you like the space and the galaxies and the planets and kind of tries to like, ooh, I'm kind of geeky. Am I the only geek in here?
Yeah.
Yep. And Mario, you got the power, bro. And Gil over there. And Jared. All of you are a bunch of losers. All right. This is the cool thing. Like, right now, people back in the day used to think that there was a lot of matter out there in the universe. But, okay, honestly, you look to the skies, and what do you see the most? Stars or empty space? Empty space, right? When they show in the movies space, there is space. Like there's nothing. There's one thing here and all this space in between, and there's another planet over there. And there's a bunch of stuff flying in between, but there's space, right? Alright. recent studies show that now they can go smart, like, ooh, there's this thing called the black matter, dark matter. I'm sorry, sometimes I go from Spanish to English too quickly and I don't do it right. Dark. Tell us what dark matter is, man. Antimatter. Make sense? Alright, break it down for these dumb guys. Come on, bro. You can do it. Tell them. They don't like science, bro. What is antimatter? Alright, listen up, guys. Alright? Something that exists but doesn't exist. What? What do you guys say before you came up with that? Or
That's why science makes you crazy.
no. That, guys, has been in the Bible forever. It's been there forever. And this guy's thinking like, oh, we're super smart. They're just talking water. Dude, it was in the Bible. Just read it, dude. They beat you, like, for a lot. But now science is getting this. Like, actually, stuff comes from stuff we cannot see. Dude, it's right there in Hebrews. Long time before we actually made it to the moon. Long time before we have all these awesome instruments. It's all part of that. So that's the thing. Guys, that's why the Bible is important. And this is where we get lost sometimes. Sometimes we focus so much on the wrong thing. Has it ever happened to you that there's something between you and your friend and something that's not pretty cool, and then he comes and he starts apologizing and he's doing this speech of like 5 minutes, and then he says something and you just focus on that and like you finish and you're like, what? You did this? And then your friend goes like, dude, out of all those 5 minutes, that's all you got? We tend to do that. We tend to focus on the wrong stuff. And we start fighting over the wrong things. And don't we see that in church?
Yeah.
You shouldn't wear that at church. Dude, I'm at church. Come on, give me a break. I'm here. No, but that's the wrong code. That's the wrong dress code. Doesn't matter? At least I'm here. I'm not naked, at least, man. You get a break. Good? I could have. That would be weird, right? I'm new to this church. But,
Oh my God.
That hope never happens. That never happens. But, like, some people clap, some people don't clap, and we start arguing, like, yo, dude, you're wrong, you shouldn't clap. You're scaring the Holy Ghost. Or, you people are so boring, you don't clap. Dude, deal with it. They're here. They're doing it their own way. Don't focus on that. I love pizza. I love burgers.
I love both.
I bet you do.
The whole point is, yeah, we need to eat, right? So, just to close, let's stand up. We'll finish up. All right, stand up. Don't be lazy. Come on, guys, you're young. All right. I want to invite you all. Try to things look from a different point of view. All right?